the enemy within. I knew that it's going to be a surprising title to you. I knew it. I knew it that it's going to be surprising. The enemy within. You see, usually when we talk of the enemy within, people's minds begin to run. They begin to imagine things. What could this enemy be? A sister in the church, a sister in the choir, a stubborn brother among the ushers, an enemy within. They begin to think of a cousin, a brother at home, who always take the family's troubles outside. And in companies, they begin to think of people who will sit among the board of directors or among the decision makers and will still take the company's plans and sell it. The enemy within, in the military community, is part of them wearing the same uniform that they're wearing, sitting together, planning a strategy, helping to develop a strategy, and will sneak out to go and inform their opponent so that they lose the battle. The enemy within. But ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to speak with you, what I'm going to speak to you about, has nothing to do with some of the things that you are thinking. It is very important, according to the ancient military rules, which is very logical, that before you go and attack, before you go on war, you must first of all be able to know your enemy. Gather as much information as possible that you can about your enemy. You don't go to fight without first identifying who your enemy is, your target, his strength, his strategies, then the location of your enemy. If you are a smart fighter, one of the things you will not underestimate is to be able to locate the hidden place of your enemy. But today, the enemy that I want you and I to run after, to seek and to find, resides in you. That is why I call him the enemy within. We are used to looking outside to find faults. But how many of us will be sincere to sit down and check through our lives, the way we do things, the way we speak, the way we handle situations, just to bring corrections into our lives? It is easy to locate an enemy outside than the enemy within. And if the enemy within happens to be dwelling in you, you can never find him. But I'm trusting God that today we will be able to identify the enemies living within us, causing havoc, destructions, damages, making our lives empty, making us lose everything that we cherish. The enemy wants us to open our Bibles to Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23. Proverbs 4:23. The Bible says, keep the heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Warning, we are looking for the enemy that resides in us. Proverbs says something, keep the heart, your heart, with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. Everything that you may term as an issue of life does not come from anywhere than from you. Whether you are broke today or not, no one is the cause of your situation than yourself. Sometimes people are not healthy because of the things they did with their bodies. But most of the time it's easy for us to blame him, to blame her, to blame this, to blame that, to blame everything around us. Whereas the enemy that is causing all these troubles have taken their abode right in us. Guide your heart with all diligence, for whatsoever you're going to become in life will come from your heart. If you become an arm robber, it comes from your heart. If you become very poor, broke, it comes from your heart. You can't say that because daddy didn't take you to school, that's why he's taking gun to kill people, to take their things. No. There are people whose situations were worse than yours, but they managed to keep their integrity, to walk through difficult times and the dark side of life, to come out. And now they are serving as a source of inspiration to many people. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can't blame anyone for whatsoever happens in your life, because if you did not allow it, it wouldn't have happened. Guide your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. You can choose to blame, but that won't help you. Shut the heart. We are trying to locate the enemy within. And the first place that the Bible has drawn our attentions on is the heart. Check your heart. Guide it with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. It is at the back to protect our properties, to protect certain valuable documents, to protect our cars with all kinds of security gadgets, to protect our homes with all kinds of security men, to protect our bodies with bodyguards. But the Bible didn't make a big deal out of that. He made all the deal depends on the heart. So if you succeed in guiding your heart carefully, you will be able to make a good headway in life. Guide your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. The issues of life comes right from within. I want us to check something from Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9. Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9 also says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The heart is deceitful above all things, desperately wicked. Who can know it? Nobody can know the wickedness of the heart. Why? Because the heart is right within us. So when we are blaming people, when we are seeing the mistakes of others, when we are taking what others are doing, what others are saying, we are doing it with the help of the heart. Meanwhile, the heart itself has kept things in it. That is making our lives become whatever we are experiencing. If your heart is wrong, you can have all the money in the world and it will not last for a week. And if the heart is right, you will start from nowhere and you'll still be able to get to somewhere. Guide your heart with all diligence, because if you leave the heart to roam, if you leave the heart to do whatever it feels good for the heart, you will fail, because the heart is wicked. The heart can deceive you. Let your friends kid you. Let your parents kid you. Let everyone kid you. But if you're not careful, the heart will kid you. And if the heart kids you, if the heart deceives you, if the heart plays fool on you, it hurts and it's difficult for one to know that the fault is from the heart. There are many of them, many of the enemies staying within you. The heart has opened up many rooms for those enemies, and they are still within you. But today I just want to pick one of the major enemies that resides in us. They can reside in a little child. They can reside in a pastor, in a bishop, in a president, in a boss. They can reside in anyone, provided the person has a heart. The enemy within. This kind of enemy is very common, very popular, well known, and it's called fear. 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 And under this fear, we have different groups. We have different kinds of fears. We have fears that are somehow positive. Those fears are the things that will tell a child not to touch fire. That's a different thing. And then let's say the fear of God. It doesn't mean that you fear God. God is looking for you to kill you. But you fear Him. You reverence Him. You honor Him. You respect Him. That's a different kind of fear. But I'm talking about fears like fear of poverty. Fear of poverty. A very great enemy that I don't want you to take it for granted. Fear of poverty. If that enemy gets hold of a person, he destroys the person completely. He destroys the person completely. Fear of poverty. Somebody is so much afraid of being poor until he becomes poor. He's so much afraid of poverty and he's thinking about poverty and all his mind, everything is poverty. He's so much afraid of poverty. And that spirit of poverty is the same spirit that controls people from becoming wealthy in life. The enemy of poverty, the fear of poverty. If you're so much afraid of being poor, then don't do things that will make you poor. Like spending your time for no reason, sleeping more than what the body needs. Those things will just make you poor. Those things will make you poor. Poor of poverty. It controls the mind of a person. If you see somebody who is so poor or who is possessed by an enemy called poverty, whom the enemy of poverty is residing in, when you meet a person on the street, you don't see any beauty on the face of the person. You don't see any beauty in the eyes of the person. The person walks straight like a dead man. The person cannot see himself. He himself cannot see anything beautiful. Cannot appreciate anything good. He does not imagine that one day he can also have a good life. The fear of poverty has gotten hold of the heart of the person. Living in the person. He walks around and he sees beautiful buildings and it doesn't move him that one day he can also live like that. He sees beautiful cars, he sees other people driving their cars and taking their children to good schools. He sees it and it does not move him. He's so scared, he's so much afraid that if you bless him with anything good, he will reject. Fear of poverty. Very dangerous enemy. Very dangerous enemy. And this heart of yours has made room for such things to inhabit in. And when things are not going on well, we begin to look for somebody to blame. Stop blaming people. Cancel it from your dictionary. Let the word blame never appear around you. And take charge. Take charge. The man is praying. The man is fasting. The man is doing everything that he has to do as a Christian, but he has allowed a demon called poverty in his life. The Bible says, Job said that the thing that I fear so much has not come to me. You are so much to be poor. You are so much afraid of being poor that you will never take a corn, a seed of a corn, to plant into the soil, because you don't have faith that even if you plant it, it is going to grow and it's going to increase. So you would rather eat the corn so that you can survive. Looking for the slightest opportunity to survive. That must not be your portion. Fear of poverty. Fear fear of poverty. Anything good, he takes his name out of it. He always thinks that he can't do anything. He cannot buy a good medicine. He cannot buy this. He cannot do this. He cannot travel here. He can't have this. Anything that is good minus him. Control by one demon, one spirit called fear of poverty. When he sees rich people, he's either scared or he's either angry or he hates them. You hate every wealthy person. You'll be with your family, you'll be with your friends, and the moment you begin to rise up, begin to become successful, you become the target. Everyone must find anything wrong about you. That is the cause of fear of poverty. You are so much afraid to be poor that the poor has arrested you. Poverty has arrested you. If you don't want to be poor, don't do the things that will make you poor. And you will be poor. In the next teachings, I will teach about the things that you should do never to be poor. It has no work. It doesn't come automatically. Some are also afraid of this enemy called criticism. You're so much afraid that you'll be criticized. What will people say about me? And all these things are running in their hearts. You are so much afraid of what the media is going to say. You are so much afraid of getting rich. You are so much afraid of getting poor. You are so much afraid of being good. You are so much afraid of living well. You are so much afraid that people will simply talk about you. If they don't talk about you, who else should they talk about? And if you become important, they must talk about you. That is when you're dead. Let people criticize you. Provided what you are doing, you have an approval from heaven. Provided what you are doing is genuine, it's clean. Come on, if God is blessing you, if you are becoming wealthy, stop feeling guilty for becoming successful. Forget about what people are going to say about you. One thing you should realize is that you don't get rich at the expense of others, but you can become successful. Very successful as you serve others. Give, it shall be given unto you. Give a good service, honorable service, and you will be blessed. Serve others and become blessed from that. Give to people what they need, what they desire, what will be beneficial to them, and you become successful. If you can close your ears from what people will say about you, you will make it. If you can check within you that enemy that always tells you that, oh, people are going to gossip about you, they are going to criticize you, they are going to say this, and the media, and this and that. If you can silence that enemy, you will be free. So number one, the enemy called the fear of poverty, you deal with that spirit resides in you. The enemy called the fear to be criticized, that spirit also resides in you. And then another fear called the ill health. You are so much afraid that you're going to be sick. Mama died of diabetes, so you are so much afraid that you are also going to die of diabetes. This one didn't give birth. That one didn't give birth. This one didn't give birth. So you are also afraid. You are married, but you are so scared that what will happen if I don't give birth? Ill health. The uncle died of cancer. Daddy died of cancer, so you are also dying of cancer, and you believe it. There's a lady that was so much afraid. So much afraid. Thinking of HIV, reading about HIV, thinking, imagining until she contracted that disease. What you are so much afraid of may eat you up one day. You are wonderfully and fearfully made. You only have to take good care of your body, which Christ has given you, and He has purchased it with His own blood. You take good care of your body. Take good care of your diet. Take good care of your exercise. Know that the only thing that will carry you on this planet is the body. You take good care of the body and you are fine. I can't see you. I can only see your body. So the you is there in this body that you are carrying. And when this body is decayed, is destroyed, you cannot borrow somebody else's body. So you take care of it and you live long. You don't go about having fun, unnecessary fun, destroying the temple of the living God. Purpose in your heart that you do every right thing that you need to do to keep your body in shape. Purpose in your heart that the only thing, the only property that you have that will take you to wherever you want to go to in life is the body. And take good care of it. Don't be afraid. Don't let the enemy call the ill health dictate in your heart and in your mind how your future is going to be. Go into scriptures and search through the scriptures, and the scriptures will tell you how your future is going to be. Take good care of the body and you'll be fine. You don't need to worry about anything. But if you are drinking and living on alcohol, depending on alcohol and shooting things into your body, that's what I cannot promise you long life. For there's no long life in destroying the body. And remember, the body is the temple of the living God. If you take care of it, then you have every reason to live long. But if you don't take care of it, then you have some questions to answer. Don't be afraid that you're going to be paralyzed one day, that you're going to sit in a wheelchair one day. Don't be afraid that you're going to lose your leg, lose your mind, lose your hand, lose your nose, lose everything. No. Don't imagine those things. Don't think about those things. Take good care of the body and you're fine. You get up one day and you have all your plans, all your schedules, and you have things that you want to achieve, things that you want to do, and you get up that morning and you tell the body, get up, let's go get things done. And the body tells you that I'm not going with you today. Why? I can't move. You have a strong spirit, weak body. You have a strong desire in your heart, burning desires in your heart that has to be accomplished, that should be fulfilled. You want to touch lives, but the body is not carrying you there. What are you going to do? There's a need for you and I to take care of our bodies. The next enemy that resides within people is the loss of love. They always want to do things to win love. They want to please people to win love. They will go about by biting, saying evil things about other people so that they can win love. No. No. Loss of love brings jealousy. If he is your friend, then you shouldn't have any other friend. If he visits you, then no one else should visit you. Nobody should talk to the wife. Nobody should talk to the husband. No other opposite sex should talk to the spouse. And even in the church, every time the husband moves his car, she begins to imagine things and begin to suspect. Loss of love. You're so much afraid that you're going to lose your wife, you're going to lose your husband for no reason. If I should ask you, why do you think you're going to lose him? You may have nothing to say, but somehow you're just afraid. May the Lord deliver you from that evil demon, because it's in to destroy and to frustrate your life. The enemy within. When these things are operating in you, you don't need any external forces to fight against you. You don't need any ancestral spirits to operate on you. These things are enough to destroy you completely. If somebody is praised, you get jealous. If somebody does something good and is praised, you get angry. You always wish that it should be you. You should be praised. You should be loved. It should be you, you, you. That's wrong spirit, and that lives in you. Very few people will see that you have that kind of thing, that kind of spirit in you, and they wouldn't want to come near you at all. You're making life uncomfortable for your wife. You're making life uncomfortable for your husband. You are suspecting your husband, your wife, for no reason. It doesn't mean that the person is doing something wrong. There's an enemy in you, residing in your heart, called the loss of love. So they always want to do something, buy and make promises that they cannot fulfill to win love. Never go to a lady and promise the lady things that you cannot afford. And don't do extreme things to win the heart of your husband. You just be yourself. Love yourself, love him, respect him, but you are not under any obligation to do things to win his love, to win his heart. Do the good things, the normal things that you have to do, but don't be so scared. You want to be as slim as the other lady, as a secretary, and the slim one also want to put on weight to be like the other lady. Why? It's an evil thing. And all these things, the heart has made room for all these things. And there are people who are so much afraid of old age. You think of growing old and you can't just accept it. You can't just bear it. Come on, you won't be as you are today. You will not always be like this. Don't deceive yourself. Let us be real here. You won't be. At least every 10 years, there's going to be some changes in your body. Even on your facial look. You see when you were a year old. You see the photo when you were 10, when you were a year old, and compare it to the photo when you became 10. Compare the photo of your 10-year-old photo with the photo that when you became 20, when you became 30. You realize that every 10 years the change is quite dramatic. What are you going to do? You can control it, you can force it, you can change it, accept it, embrace it. Old age is a blessing. Much as changes are going on in your body, changes are going on in your mind. As you are growing, you're becoming more experienced, you're becoming more wiser, you are able to solve problems. Old age is a blessing. Use that blessing to bless yourself, to bless other people. Stop complaining and stop forcing yourself to become younger. It is good to keep yourself young, keep yourself clean, keep yourself attractive. That is fine. But don't bother yourself so much. You lost your hair, and so what? You lost your hair, but you've gotten more wisdom. It is better to have a bald head like mine and be wise than to have an afro and be stupid. Let's face it. So embrace old age. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. It comes with a blessing. Receive the blessing. Enjoy the blessings of being old. And help people with your experience. People are so much afraid of old age. You can't fight it. And you're afraid of it. And the heart has made room for all these things. The heart has opened up for all these things. That is the enemy within. The last thing that I want to say is people are afraid of death. Death is inevitable. You can change it. You can reverse it. You can do much about it. It will come. Whether you're ready for it or not, it will come. But remember, the death of an ungodly person is what is painful. But if you're a righteous person, well grown, taking care of your family, taking care of your grandchildren, imparted wisdom, left wealth behind for the righteous man, leaveth an inheritance for his children's children. If you are able to set things in place, you got to be ready. You got to be happy. You got to expect the next adventure. But if you don't know Christ, if you have not set things in place, if you still have things that you've not worked out, you've not solved, problems in the family that you've not solved, then death doesn't seem to be a blessing. Ask yourself, if you should die today, what will become of your children? What have you left behind? What are you planning to leave behind? Have you solved some family problems? Will there be troubles? your bigger children going to take your small children out of your home? What is going to happen? Righteous man should not close your eyes to die without certain things in place. But if you set things in place, death is a profit. Death becomes a profit. Because we have somewhere that we're going when we leave this planet. And where we're going is so real. It is more sure than where we are living now. And it will take you there to get there, or rapture to get there. But I'm not encouraging that you leave the planet now, because you still have things to accomplish. And may the Lord keep you and sustain you until you have fulfilled every assignment and die empty. You give all that is within you out to bless humanity before you go to the grave. Don't join people who have entered into their graves with all kinds of ideas, all kinds of wisdom and knowledge which they never tap into, which they never use to help humanity. But on your dying bed, you must have it within your spirit that you've given your best to your family, your best to your church, your best to the community, your best to your nation, your best to humanity. How many books do you want to write before you die? How many souls do you want to touch? How many lives do you want to transform before you die? Until you do that, tell the enemy within that you are not ready to go. And don't be afraid. If you are hearing a voice that you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, I just want to tell you that you take 3 days fasting, pray and rebuke that spirit, and believe in your spirit by faith that you are free and you're going to live long. You won't die before your time.